This is very complicated. My fiancé, male 29, let's call him Adam, and I, female 23, have been together for about 1.5 years. He separated from his ex-wife, 37, let's call her Sarah, over 2 years ago. For very complicated legal reasons I won't go into here, their divorce has been going on for the whole time I've known them. Sarah, Adam and I are all legal immigrants to the country where we live, but because the legal divorce has gone through the courts and immigration office, along with the pandemic, it has been delayed. Sarah is not a great person and has been illegally withholding Adam's children from him while demanding large sums of money. I'm not talking child support, he pays for all their expenses. I'm talking like $10,000 or you can't see your son. 6 months ago, Sarah met a new man and wanted to get married. Today we found out that Sarah is 3 months pregnant. Even though they've been separated for over 2 years according to the laws of this country, Adam will be presumed the father because they are still not legally divorced. The court date for their divorce was supposed to be in 1 month, but it will have to be delayed until after she's had the baby because she's pregnant. Sarah is now threatening to fight in the court to say that the baby is Adam's, the real father is somehow okay with this since he thinks they will get good money from it, and delay the divorce for up to 8 more months. If she tells the court that the baby isn't his and the court takes testimony from Sarah, Adam, me and Sarah's fiancé, then the divorce can move forward normally. I know all this seems a big complicated mess. I swear it's all real, and if I didn't love Adam I would have been out very quickly. Here's to my problem. I'm going to move back to North America for law school. I was supposed to go this year, but because of the global issue, I waited a year to apply. My visa ends soon, and I don't really have a choice about leaving. Adam and I were supposed to get married this summer, fall, to be together, and he could immigrate with me. With Sarah being pregnant, this means that he may not be about to join me for a few years with all the paperwork that I will have to fill out in the next few years. Sarah knows this, which is why she's trying to delay the divorce, just to mess with us. How do I get through this emotionally? Without the global issue, all this would have been over last year. I'm honestly happy that we're all safe and physically healthy because I know the outcome for the previous year could have been much worse. I love my fiancé and want to get through this, and it's not his fault, but I'm dying inside from the stress. I want him to be a good father, and I want to get my degree so I can support our family. If I have to move without him, we'll both be devastated, but it might have to happen. I need emotional help and need advice on how to talk with him about this. To be honest, you've only been together for 1.5 years and you're only 23 with literally a whole life and career ahead of you. Personally, I would walk away. Relationships end for all sorts of reasons, and I wouldn't be able to continually subject myself to someone else's messy divorce proceedings. I wish I had better advice. Regardless, I wish you luck. Another thing to consider, chances are he won't be given full custody, so they'll have to co-parent for who knows how long. This baby mama will be a constant shadow hanging over OP. The drama surely won't end with the divorce. I would walk away too. Very few men are worth that hassle. I would keep all texts, letters, emails, etc. that she's ever sent using threats or blackmail for the children. I would fight the paternity test for the child, and I would tell Adam how you're feeling. Having someone stick around by his side has probably made it worth it in the end. As much stress as it can be, I would just talk to him about how you're feeling stressed and all of the above. This is the test of your relationship. If there's nothing to be worried about besides Sarah and the courts, then he should be okay with waiting it all out before he can immigrate with you. I somehow missed the part where Adam already has biological kids with his ex. OP, is he really intending to leave his children to be with you, a woman he's known for 18 months in a different country, and you're okay with this? You're engaged to a married man who is willing to just completely abandon his children. Sounds like a real catch. I, female 26, lost my husband in an accident 2 months ago. I was an utter mess. I was and still am devastated and cannot believe how fast days go by. My parents support me a lot. I was spending my days alone at my apartment. My parents told me they sent my sister, 21, to stay with me and help around the apartment. I welcomed her and was glad she came. She'd occasionally invite her boyfriend to my apartment since she's there all the time. Her boyfriend started acting like it's their place by moving stuff, throwing stuff away. I talked to them about it. I also said I wouldn't let him stay the night anymore because I need some calm and quiet to sleep, and he usually stays up till 5 a.m. making noise. My sister didn't argue. However, yesterday I went to see a friend for a few hours, and when I got back, I didn't find my sister, thinking she went out. Suddenly, her boyfriend walks out of my bedroom, and I freaked out, asking why he was there. My sister showed up, asking why I got home so early. I loudly asked them why they were in mine and my husband's bedroom. Suddenly, my sister said they borrowed it for an hour to get some privacy, since I had a key and might have walked in and seen something. My apartment is a single-bedroom apartment. I was in shock. I checked the room and the bed looked like someone used it. I completely lost my temper, yelling at her and her boyfriend. I kicked him out, and my sister and I started arguing. She called me irrational, acting out of grief, and taking my frustration out on her. I told her to leave if she wasn't willing to respect mine and my husband's private place, and she should never have walked in it. After that, I kicked her out. My mom came to see what was going on. She defended my sister and blamed her boyfriend, saying I had every right to kick him out, but my sister took the time and came to stay with me to support and help. And I was wrong to treat her like this, saying that's how kids are, and didn't know that it had upset me this much. My dad agreed I overreacted and wanted me to talk things out with her, but I refused to do it. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. OMG, your sister and her boyfriend were having intimacy in the bed you shared with your recently deceased husband. There comes a point where help becomes a hindrance. Your sister has passed that point. I'm so sorry for your loss. Not the idiot. Treating your home as theirs while you were grieving is not being supportive. It's being opportunistic. As for moving things and throwing stuff out, what if they'd thrown out something of your husband's that you had sentimental feelings about? Just no. Sounds like the boyfriend doesn't have privacy where he lives and is taking advantage of your sister not being under her mother's roof. Demand your sister returns any key she has, and if your mother has one too. If she still has access to a key, there will be a repeat if they think you might be out. Until she actually understands how far she has transgressed, she doesn't get to step foot in your home, and certainly not unsupervised by you. Not the idiot. Goodness, OP, I'm so sorry for your loss. Your sister has a complete and utter lack of sympathy and self-awareness, especially with the loss so recent. Being kind doesn't give you a free pass to be unkind. That's not how it works. And your sister is 21 years old, not a child. I wish you all the best and hope you have a support structure outside your family. My birthday was yesterday and I was obviously excited, hinting that I would love an ice cream cake as I had never had it before. To give you some insight, usually on my birthday my family eats at places that aren't even my favourite. No one orders dessert, which means no cake. I just act grateful and try to enjoy my day. Last year my mom and I argued because I asked to go to a place that I liked, which is actually cheaper. Yesterday rolls around and the day is just like any other day, and only my sister seems to have remembered or was the only one that made an effort to wish me. I didn't even want to go out because clearly it's too much trouble. I had some hope thinking they were just messing with me, but alas, nothing. After finishing my schoolwork, I stayed in my room and kept to myself. Eventually, my mom noticed my mood when I went downstairs and told me to stop being a brat. I told her I might not have been if my parents remembered my birthday. She actually looked flustered, then continued to say I was being childish because people forget things all the time. I am never grateful for the effort they put into my birthday anyway. My dad also chimed in and said, "Happy birthday, happy now?" in a mocking tone. At this point I was so hurt and stopped responding and went to my room. They came up berating me, said I was disrespectful and called me an idiot before slamming my door. I'm conflicted because maybe I shouldn't have argued the previous year as it's their money. Still, I was just trying to voice out my opinion. Am I the idiot for wanting to celebrate my birthday at a place I actually like? Not the idiot. Nothing in this entire story is your fault. If you asked for something outrageous, then it would have been different. Also, they're your parents and should make an effort to at least remember your birthday. There are zero excuses. Finally, when they realized, instead of saying, "Oh no, I'm so sorry it completely slipped, but let's make it up with takeout and ice cream," they chose to deflect the blame onto you. You deserve better. Not the idiot. Your parents are emotionally abusive. How could they ignore your birthday and then mock you for being unhappy? That's adding insult to injury. I don't understand how they can be so mean. Of course your birthday should be celebrated how and when you want, as long as it's affordable. Go out and buy yourself some flowers and an ice cream cake, and don't share it with those idiots. Not the idiot. But I have to ask, how old are you? Once you're an adult, it's in your best interest to expect your family to be who they are and not show up for you. Yes, it hurts. But if that is who they are, expecting them to be different just makes it harder for you. My 31 male wife, 27, recently gave birth to our son. Things have been going well with the baby, and she's been recovering well. Given the you-know-what, some family have not been able to meet him, but we've been doing Zoom meetings so they can see him. Anyway, my wife was on a Zoom call with her family while putting our son down for a nap. When I came back in, my wife asked if I could talk to her family for a bit and that she would be back. Her cousin started asking if my wife had taken anything at all during labour or even after. I replied that she had managed to get the epidural right before it was too late and that I had to step right outside the room while they gave her the epidural. Cousin didn't say much after that, and neither did some of her family members. I stuck around a bit longer, but when my wife didn't come back, she ended up falling asleep, I left. In the interest of not going over word count, my wife got furious at me later in the day. She said I shouldn't have said anything about her labour or what happened, that her family was calling her out for lying, that I should have supported her, and that I'm a massive idiot for talking about things I have no idea about. I was confused for a while, but apparently my wife told her family that she had a natural birth and hadn't wanted any medication. I had no idea she was doing this or why. I tried to ask her why she told her family that, but she just got angrier, saying I don't support her. She's barely talking to me unless it involves our son. Was I the idiot for talking about her labour? I didn't know she was telling her family this. Please give it to me straight. Not the idiot. She said, "Here, talk to my family," and left the area. The family said, "What did she take during labour?" OP replied honestly. If OP was meant to lie, his wife should have filled him in advance. She's trying to play super mom, natural birth, no meds, yada yada. It's a silly kind of status she's trying to get because no one cares. Now she's been outed for lying, and it's her own fault. Not the idiot, because the absolute idiots here are your wife's family. Her cousin set you up and pried into your wife's private medical information, knowing she would not want you to disclose it. It sounds as if your wife's family are idiots about childbirth-related decisions, so she told them she had a natural childbirth to avoid their judgment. They're a bunch of idiots who couldn't let it lie. I would apologize to her but explain that you didn't know and thought it was an innocent question. In the future, decline to discuss your wife's private medical information unless she specifically said it's okay for you to do so. Not the idiot. The whole natural birth movement is super toxic. I don't give anyone extra props for not taking pain relief. It's suitable for some people, wrong for others. But you don't get bonus points for pushing a kid out unmedicated. Her family needs to keep their noses out of her medical issues. The only thing they should care about is that you have a healthy baby and that both mom and child are doing well. If they want to have unmedicated births, then they can go right ahead and have their own. We live in a very messed up society of women are getting judged for whether they chose to have their pain managed during labour and delivery. Not the idiot, since you didn't know your wife's wishes. Be supportive of her by pushing back on any family members who feel entitled to judge her about such a personal medical decision. I'm a 22-year-old female and I got married to my husband 2 weeks ago. He's my soulmate. I found him, finally, after years of suffering between my dad's death and mom's marriage and having little support. He came along. He's so amazing, so compassionate, sweet and smart. He's in a wheelchair, which isn't an issue. Still, I got negative remarks from people questioning the seriousness of our relationship. "Oh, you're too young, that's probably not real love," or "You've only known him for barely 2 years," or "Are you sure you're willing to live like this for the next at least 10 years? We decided to have a small wedding. Our parents helped with money. My mom invited my stepdad's family and stressed a lot about issues. My husband said he had a surprise for our wedding. I kept my eyes shut, and when I opened them, I saw that he had made a tree swing with chains and a tire. He was sitting in it with his feet slightly off the ground and had straps on his shoulders, saying he wanted us to have the perfect dance together. I was in shock. He told me he probably looked funny, but he wanted to dance with me. My sight level met his. It was like we were standing face to face. He and his friend, who's the best man and little sister, arranged for this. Everyone was reacting to this, but mom and stepdad were upset. When we started dancing, my mom yelled at me to stop, saying we were embarrassing her in front of her guests. My stepbrother started laughing while Mom screamed at me to stop and called my husband immature. I immediately got into an argument with her, told her she was being mean and cruel instead of being happy for me. I told her to stop or leave. She lashed out, calling my wedding a joke. I told her to go. My stepdad defended her and said that my husband and I were being inappropriate. I insisted they both leave. Mom left after that. My stepdad scolded me, saying I should be ashamed. My mom supported me and paid money. My aunt wanted me to apologize, but I wanted to focus on my husband and me, despite the family leaving and calling me disrespectful. My husband felt guilty then and said it was a bad idea. Still, I assured him it was me who escalated by kicking my mom out. Everyone criticizes me for acting immature and mean towards Mom, saying they were being disrespected and humiliated. They didn't even congratulate us. Am I the idiot? For the sweet, unfiltered love of God, sorry to say it like that, but who stole your mom's brain? Not the idiot, for sure. Your husband sounds like a wonderful and silly man. Don't get me wrong with what I'm saying now. Yes, it was childish and embarrassing of your husband. If it would have been your mum's stupid wedding, not yours. How can your mom be this disrespectful against your disabled husband, who tried to get both of you to have a wonderful dance? How can your mom be this entitled to really believe you are embarrassing her in front of her guests? Was it her wedding? No. And the fact that the mother said it was her guest speaks volumes. Not the idiot. Your mother is awful. I'm sorry that she behaved that way. You deserve better than your entire family displayed, and paying money doesn't mean she bought the right to humiliate you and your husband at your wedding. Also, at least 10 years? Yikes though. That said, finally, at 22 years old is a good sign of all the growing you have left to do. May you and your husband do it together with grace. Not the idiot, but I have to get this off my chest. You're 22 and saying you finally found your soulmate? Honestly, I cringed. I'm saying this because you're so young and have your life ahead of you. In any case, you're an adult. You found someone you want to spend your life with, and your mom and stepdad are being ableist idiots. Honestly, until they can learn to respect your marriage and your husband, I would go no contact.